Hi everyone, welcome to episode 6 of Masochist Insane Scenario. Alright, finally, that took like 10 minutes. Not really, it took 1 minute, but still. Apparently it takes a long time to load a save with 1 million machines. In order to remedy that, I think it's high time I tore down all of this, so goodbye. It's gonna take another 10 minutes to delete. Alright, I cleaned up this whole area, and now let's actually talk about what I did. So at the end of last episode, I think this was at 60 hours, and now it's at 69. I left this running for maybe 2 to 3 hours, but at 4x speed, so that kind of checks out. During that time, I managed to get this all the way to level 55, delivering a couple million of these, I bet. Let's look at the stats. Total, 4.5 million. To be fair, a lot of them was with the shape multiplier. Speaking of, I left this running long enough to get the next tier of shape multipliers, so let's buy that. There we go. That's gonna help a lot. So now we get to do the fun part of working with trade stations now. So let's take a look. We got a trade station. Here's the red one, the green one, and the blue one. The shapes to take are pretty simple, just that, which is really easy to make. And then I get the refined shapes. For this first milestone, we need a pinned crystal with some standalone pins on it and some exotics. In order to get this red exotic, we need that shape. I think I'm going to make a lot of this. I need 900,000, and with 6x shape multiplier, I can just divide that by 6. I essentially have to deliver 150,000, which I can do with 1 space belt. Doing that is only going to take 17 minutes. Pretty good. So in order to run 1 full space belt, I'm going to need a pretty decent amount of exotics actually. Let me run the numbers and see how many I need. So this is how many I need. I need 2 notches of this shape in order to get 4 notches of the half red exotic. For these trade stations, you need 2 machines for 1 notch. And this will take 1 notch and split into 2, so that's how I get 4 from 2 notches. I hope at least. There's a good chance I did the numbers wrong because math is not very easy. Alright, let's slap down the 4 trade stations somewhere nice and easy. I don't know, right here. Since I'm going to need this shape a lot, it's present in the other trade stations you see here. It's the same shape, just a different color. I think I'm going to get a blueprint to make this shape and paint it at the same time. You'll see what I mean once I make it. This is the blueprint I've been using for the other milestones like this one and that one. The one that swaps shapes together. I thought I could use this blueprint, but it turns out I'm actually trashing half the shapes. See, some of them are going to the trash and only half are going out. So let me fix this. Alright, so this should be that blueprint. It's just a reworked version of that 2-shape swapper thing that I had before. I can input 1/2 and 1/2. They'll get swapped together. And then go straight into this painting platform, which I ripped from my 1x1 painter platform. I can input the paint from these sides. It will paint over here and also this side. And then the output will go right here. Let me just make sure this works and then I'll save it. That does indeed work. This will make 2 notches and that's exactly the amount I need. Get some trade stations right here. And then I'm getting the red exotics. Then I have to cut these. I'm going to use the overflow. Even though it's bad to waste exotic shapes, I would rather not have it get jammed, so I'm sorry. There's a full space belt of this exotic. And I hope I ran the numbers correctly. It looks like I did. It also looks like this is working. Huge. Let's save it. Alright. Trade Station Shape Maker. Bit of a weird name, but it works. Alright, let's get the half crystal now. I'm going to cut this in half once again to save shapes. Since I have red right here, I'm just going to use this. Okay, time to get the actual standalone pins. I'm going to just use these squares because they're right here. Here's the pin maker. I need a lot of these. Okay, so standalone pins will come out of there. Let me move this over so it's actually even. That's going to make the top of the pins, those ones up there, and I can stack them on top of those crystals. Obviously the prediction is messed up, but I trust that pin maker to actually make pins and not whatever garbage else. So those are the 2 components. I can stack these together like so. Have to make sure to drop the exotic so I don't break the crystal. And I'll make the first milestone prerequisite. It wasn't so bad. It took a long time for some reason because I'm figuring this out for the first time, but really wasn't that bad. Let's grab some trains to deliver to the vortex. for this next prerequisite, the nice part is it's basically the exact same. I just don't need those standalone pins on top. So I can copy paste pretty much all of this. Obviously, I'll still need squares, so let me send those over. And the stars. Plug in some blue right here, and some blue right here. Okay, just pull it from over here. Yep, that's making the pin crystal, and this should be making exotics. No? Oh, because these are red trade stations, right? Blue trade station instead, and that should get, yes, the blue exotic. And plug it in. I'm now getting this prerequisite milestone thing. Yep. That was incredibly easy. Put a train down and send it over. Of course, I have to replace this with the blue locomotive. I just killed that train with deliveries on it. Oh my god. Alright, well, that's going up incredibly fast because I have a 6x shape multiplier. And it looks like this is max efficiency. The next step is really easy. I just need this green half exotic thing. And I'll have to rework the crystal part, but that's not so bad. The next part for this is also incredibly easy. I just need this white half circle pinned and dropped on top of that. It looks like I did in fact run the numbers correctly. Surprising. Look at that, this is almost done already. Probably should have started working on this ahead of time, but oh well. I will once again copy all of this. This will be the green trade station. Look at that, I already have this. In fact, that's just not even right because, yeah. I forgot I have to rework this instead of just pasting it over here. I guess I have to move all of this. Alright, moving the blue trade station all the way over here to give myself plenty of space. And look, that was done. Alright, now let's actually copy paste most of this. Actually, no. I can copy paste the trade station part. So this will go over here, I think. Green trade station. Green paint. And those are the half exotics. What I'm going to do now is actually rework pretty much all of this. What I need to do is cut this 4 ways. This will all be green. So there's the green crystal. And then I have to crystallize this with red. But before I crystallize it, I have to stack it on top of this. Stacker, and then where's my crystallizer? If we take a look, it's the wrong order. I am very intelligent, actually. Okay, paint this one red first. Then stack that one on top. Then crystallize it green. There we go. Now what I can do is make a platform that will cut out those diamonds and pin push the crystals. And this does exactly that. Of course, I'll still need the standalone pins, but that's pretty easy to get. What I'll do is send these over to get stacked with over here and save a little bit of space this way. And then I drop these on top of the crystallized things. And now all I need is the standalone pins. I need some garbage shapes to go in there, so why not these convenient circles? Go through the standalone pins in the top half. Send these over to get stacked. Just like that, there's the second prerequisite. So this should work eventually, and if it's not max efficiency, I'll be sad. I'll also have to rework all of it again for the final shape. I guess that's fine. I can do something very similar to what I did just now. Anyhow, all I need now is a white half circle. Let me grab circles. Here's the white. I don't need that much. So I'm bringing circles over, painting them, cutting them in half, and then rotating them. Now I pin push them. Where's my pin pusher platform? And then all I have to do now is simply stack this on top of this. That was one of the easiest shapes. So both of those should be done pretty soon. And in fact, I'm just going to go over here and speed up time, because there's not much else I can do. And this one's already done. I sure am glad I have shape multiplier, otherwise delivering 900,000 is going to take a while. But anyway, they're both done now, so let's take a look. What I have to do now is actually move this a little bit closer so I can make all those crystals at once, so I can pin push them all at once. What is up with these predictions? So here are the blue exotics. I need to move everything else over, such as the blue paint for the crystals. And here's a very smart idea that I thought of. Since I need another set of molding shape to set on top of that so I can crystallize it, why don't I use the rest of the circles over here? Half of them will make this half white circle. The rest can go into the molding shape. Seems pretty optimal to me. Bring this over and then drop it onto this. There's the third layer of mold. I'll grab a crystallizer and the blue paint from somewhere over here. There's the 3 layers of crystals, red, green, blue. Same thing here. Now, since I'm silly, I accidentally deleted that platform that cuts out the mold and pin pushes it, so I guess I'll have to make it again. It's alright, I just made it again. Yep. Now over here, I'm gonna bring the blue exotic and stack them on top of this. Let's take a look. Nice. Then what I can do is take these white half circles and send them on a journey. That journey is over here. That's the bottom half of the shape. And my standalone pins are somewhere. I can... yeah, here they are. If I also send these on a journey, such as to be stacked over here, those are the pins on top of the top layer of that shape. And lastly, take these, stack them. There you go. It's done. Not the most space efficient, not the most optimal. It's kind of ugly, I won't lie. But it works. Alright, hopefully this is max efficiency. Most likely it's not because I did a lot of jank. Plug in the train as always, send it in, and let's see what happens. Alright, I'm gonna go speed up time a little bit and then check back on it. Well, I'm back after a while. I noticed that these haven't started going in after a while. I wonder why. Alright, well, let's see how fast it climbs up after this. Oh, you know what? There's an achievement for delivering a crap ton of shapes into the vortex at once. I think I know how to cheese it, so let's see if I can do that. I'm gonna disconnect the unloaders for now, and then get ready to launch the trains in, because I do have train delivery. I haven't been using it. I'll wait for the trains to fill up a lot and then... What is this? Oh, that's the example from the last episode. Somehow it survived. Anyway, since I'm here, I'm gonna check on this, and it is max efficiency. Very good. Alright, it's been a while. I'd imagine they're pretty fully loaded by now. Also, these are still unloading. That's been counting up, so... I hope I can get the achievement now. Let's see what happens. This is probably not gonna work. Please. Oh, 2 trains. Huge. 3 trains. I actually got it. Wow. And this is what happens. The way it works is since in 1 second, a lot of shapes get just instantly dumped into the vortex because of train delivery. So the calculation gets really confused. Yeah, that's kind of inaccurate. Oh, it's done. That was actually surprisingly fast. Let's claim beyond the vortex. You're still here? Most operators call it a day after the final qualification. It looks like the requirements are less. I'm pretty sure they start at 8,000, but that one started like a lot less. I wasn't paying attention, but I see now it's at the 8,000 at level 7. I'll probably leave this running for a while and then I'll come back. Just like always. Okay, I'm back. It's been a while. I have 202,000 research credits and this is now level 39. So let me put this out of commission. I realized what I could have done was copy all of this and pasted it 2 more times, or however many more times for that matter. And then I could have reached maybe level 300 on this, but I decided I wouldn't do that because that's boring. This thing is pretty small and it doesn't use a lot of resources, so that's why I was thinking that, but for now I'm just gonna delete all of it. Everything has been cleaned up. Let's do the next milestone. This one is already a lot less linear than this one, but it should be pretty easy still. This one we have to get some standalone pins and then crystallize it, because if we were to get this yellow exotic and then crystallize it, then this quarter right here will get filled in, which is not what we want. We'll also need 1/4 of this magenta exotic. And over here we need another quarter. We need 3/4 of the yellow one and the cyan one. So yeah, the numbers are going to be a little bit weird, but I think it'll be fine. These shapes aren't too hard to make. Let's take a look at the new recipes for the trade stations. This is aqua. It just takes half of this blue exotic, half a green exotic, and gives us a full aqua exotic. The other ones are the exact same. This one takes red and blue exotics to make magenta, red and green to make yellow. This milestone is really cheap on exotics. I just need one trade station to get all the yellow and all the aqua and all the magenta exotics I need.
Are you sure about that?
Okay, let's first get that cyan crystal, which I'm going to grab a random shape over here, plug it into a pin maker, cut it into quarters, and this is unfortunately not a full notch, so I will need another one of these. There we go, that is now a full notch. And you see now when we crystallize it, we'll just get this cyan crystal. Ignore that, the prediction is confused again. Put a stacker down, and we need to get this 3/4 yellow exotic thing. As a reminder, yellow exotic takes half a red exotic and half a green one. I'll need 2 of these for 1 notch. If I plug in the trade stations like this should work. Actually, never mind. What I have to do is get my trade stations and then cut them in half and then send them in here. Kind of like this. Can be a little bit neater, but this works. Once again, I have no clue if this is the right amount of trade stations. Probably not. Stars. They go right here. Squares. Squares go right here. Also some red. And some green. I now have the exotic, the yellow exotic. I also decided to use 2 trade stations. I, again, don't know if this is the right amount. The only thing I really care about is a full output of this yellow exotic. Now I'll have to do this again for the cyan and magenta exotics, but I can do that after. And since I don't need 1/4, I need this blueprint to punch out a quarter. Let's bring these yellow exotics over to get stacked. There's the first prerequisite. You can see here the prediction is confused and we are just getting these flat cyan crystals. Train time. The other prerequisite is a 3/4 cyan exotic with 1/4 of magenta. I'm gonna copy this setup. Replace these with green and blue trade stations. Plug in the squares and stars. I also plug the green in. Plug in the blue right there. And I should be getting my... Oh, yes, I'm now getting the cyan exotics. So what's happening here is this is outputting 1 notch and this takes half a notch. So what I could do is just take this and split it into both of these. Same thing with the red one. Seems complicated. I won't do it. Let me just grab my cyan exotic with the quarter punched out. I have to copy this one more time for the purple exotic or magenta one, same thing. Except this time I don't even have to copy it because for the final shape I only need 2/4 of the magenta exotic, this one and this one. So if I grab a magenta trade station and then I can stick a cutter right in front of it, I will now get all the magenta. I have 2 more cutters and this will cut it into quarters. This is outputting half a notch, it will get cut in half and then cut into quarters. So this is 1 notch of quarters, this is 1 notch of quarters, and that's exactly the amount I need. Grab a blue trade station, grab a red trade station, get some cutters and just plug them in. I know it's a mix, but it's fine, it will work anyway, I hope. You know, I thought of an idea. Since I don't need a lot of these, I can just use the same platform, paint this blue, paint this red. Actually, no, that won't work at all. What I'm doing here is sending this into the blue one and this one into the red one. If I plug in this, I will now get the magenta exotic right after I paint them. I keep forgetting to do that. Blue in there and red from somewhere. Red into here. I should be getting my... Those are only half... What? Oh, right, because I didn't rotate them. Okay, I tried to explain what I did here like 10 times and I tripped on my words every time. So basically, this outputs 1 notch of that. And for this, you need 2 notches. Basically, both of these are 1 notch, so that's 1 notch is going to the painter. And you need 2 of these for 1 notch. However, this only eats, again, half a notch. So if I plug in half a notch into here, it will just give me a full notch in return, which can then just get plugged into here. You know, it doesn't matter. All you need to know is this is getting enough and this is outputting enough, so I don't care about the numbers. I'll worry about that in manufacture mode when it's important. Math is really difficult, so I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Took me so long to do that that this finished. But now I can finally stack these important things together. Finally. Am I stupid? So I need a full space belt of this yellow exotic. But I'm only making 1 notch. I need 4 notches. Oof, okay. Yeah, that's what happens when you try to take a shortcut in math. Huh. Alright. Guess I gotta do that. Okay, let's actually run the numbers through this time. So I need 1 full space belt of these yellow exotics. These output half a space belt, so I need 2 of them for 1 notch. And so I will need 4 of these. This is 1 notch, 2 notch, 3 notch, 4 notch. Now to get the red and green exotics, I need these trade stations. These output half a notch, so I need 2, or rather 1 for each of these trade stations. It's 1 to 1 on the trade stations. This is 1 notch of that red shape. This is also 1 notch of that red shape. This is another one. I can get the green one right here and just do basically this but mirrored. Square is going to here, star is going to here, red here, green here. I'm gonna copy all this, paste it over here, and this is everything, I hope. Oh, and here's one more optimization. I flipped this half so that these can share paint input, like these can both be green. Squares, into there, into there, into there, into there. Stars, there, 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 there. Red. Red will go into the far trade stations. One there, and the other one right here. Lastly, green goes into the other trade stations, here in the middle. Plug it in. I hope that's correct. Right, it's not correct because I'm making full exotics and these only take half exotics. Well, in that case, I could probably cut out this half. So, I need my cutting platforms. Here's 1 notch of the hash shape and another notch. And that's all the green I need. Nice. Red ones can go in a bit of a weird spot. Also, I realized I blocked that one in completely without realizing, so whoops. Okay, send the other half exotic over here, I think. Yep. Plug that in there, plug this in there. Finally. Wait, this is still not correct. Because this is 1 notch of output, and these take half a notch. Why is math so hard, man? Okay, from the top. Cutter. 1 notch, 2 notch. Trade station takes half a notch. So all of this can run 4 trade stations. Like so. Same thing with the red ones. Okay, this I believe is correct. Let me just make sure. 1 notch, half notch, half notch. Okay, 1 notch. 1 notch, half notch, good. They're all going into the right amount of trade stations. I do have to move it though because that's going to interfere with this. Now I'll need more trade stations. I guess these red ones can go here because they're closer. Red exotics plugged in. Same thing with green now. Alright, finally. And because these are outputting half a notch, this is 1 notch. I have 4 of these, that is 1 full space belt of this yellow exotic. Finally, that took forever. The chances of this being incorrect still probably very high. Anyway, now I can punch out a quarter. And another thing, instead of just deleting the quarter, we could cut it out and then use it to assemble a 3/4 shape, but that seems like even more effort than all of this, so maybe I'll hold off on that. Okay, but that's finally back. Plug this in, and then I'm now getting this again, this time at the proper rate. Now I need the exact same shape for the aqua exotic, so let me copy and paste. I can plug in the circles and stars from right here, but I do have to change the trade stations, obviously. The green paint will go right here to go into this trade station, and I also need blue paint. Let me grab some. This goes in there. Replace these green trade stations with blue ones. Rather, not the green ones, the red ones. And then I replace these with cyan trade stations. Full space belt of the aqua exotic. There's the actual shape I need. Now I have to do something unique for magenta. Oh boy. This outputs a full one, but I only need 2/4. Here's the quarter cutter. If this is filled with 1 notch, it will output a full space belt of quarters. That's 1 notch, and I'm getting a full space belt of a magenta quarter. However, I need 2 of them, 1 over here and 1 up here. So I'll copy this. And I believe that's all the magenta exotics I'll need. 2 blue trade stations, cut them in half, and that'll work. 1 notch getting split into 2 notches. 1 notch goes here, the other notch goes over here. Again, do the same thing with the red exotics. This is 1 notch of input, this is 1 notch of input, and this makes 2 notches. So now what I can do is cut out the painter part of this, and then I can stick painters over here. 1 notch goes here to get painted into the trade stations. There's some convenient blue right here, I'm going to use it. Unfortunately, I can't use this because I have already used this full space belt, so I'll need to bring more right over here. Once again, I'm not building for expandability because that's difficult. Okay, plug in stars right here. Squares in there. I need to grab red paint, which is just waiting for me over here. Lovely. Plug it in. Please give me the exotics. Thank you. These are all the exotics I'll need. Finally made them correctly. That took a while. If I take this exotic and stack it onto these cyan ones, I have the next prerequisite. I also realized having multiple trains is kind of overkill because I'm really not making that many that a train can't handle it. And I can also finally finish this one. I'll need a 3/4 magenta diamond with some pins underneath. And also, of course, the yellow, or rather the magenta exotic in the corner. And I'm not prepared for manufacture mode, am I? Alright, so let me first bring the magenta exotic over there. Getting the magenta diamond will be really easy. Here are some diamonds waiting for me. Over here is a great spot. Diamonds in there. Let me grab magenta. Magenta in here. And here's the diamond. Punch out a quarter. Pin push it. There's the next part. Stacker array. Plug it in. There's the shape. Okay, since this is finally done, I'm looking at the next one. It just needs a singular crystal over there. Really easy to make. What I'll have to do is get some molding, crystallize that only 1/4, and then have to stack these aqua exotics onto this. I thought of an idea. I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but I do want to try it because it seems funny. So here I have the 3/4 aqua exotic. What if I pin push it and then stack the magenta exotic on it? See, now when I crystallize it, there will be the aqua crystal going in there and filling up the ones down there. Cyan. As you can see, exactly that happened. Now that's not very useful because I don't need crystals down there. But here's the great part, I can just destroy them. If I take this thing, swap it with itself. Look at that. Oh, apparently there's a... Right, that's nice. Okay, I can just rotate it and then swap it again to make it fall, and that is correct. Look at this blueprint. Very useful. Well, that's done. Send it into a train. Let's check on the efficiency of this one. It's max. Let's go. That'll be done pretty soon. Let's take a look at this. I can rework a lot of this. For example, if I make this shape, pin push it, then I make this shape, pin push it, and then drop the diamonds without pins, and then crystallize it all at once, I'll get all the cyan crystals. And I'm pretty sure I already have these exotic shapes like this yellow and magenta one, this aqua and magenta one. It's done. Now, in fact, I don't even need this crystallizer anymore. Over here, I don't need this crystallizer anymore. Let me just delete it. If I plug this in, what do I get? I get this shape. Of course, these diamonds don't have to be pinned anymore, so let me delete those. If we take a look... Well, that's not quite correct. Okay, well, don't stack the diamonds with this then. Stack this exotic first. Yep, except I have to pin push these first. Like that. There we go. Then if I pin push this and stack the diamonds on it, all those pins and empty spaces can be filled in with one crystallizer. Plug it in. Please be correct. Thank you. Train, that will go in. And hopefully this will get done in a reasonable amount of time. I'm gonna go sit in the void like always and come back to check on it. Oh, Looks like a few went in already. Max efficiency. Very nice. Almost. Apparently there's some small gaps here. I will wait a long time and then claim the milestone when it's done. And it's done. Let's claim it. The shapes are getting more complex and the target steeper. This is uncharted territory even for us. Really now. As always, I'm going to leave this running for however long. And look at that. Operator level 234. It's funny because my name is AN234. Whenever I see a number 234 in the wild, I always make a point of it, saying it's a reference to my name. So as always, I'm going to leave that running, but let's take a look at the next milestones now. We need black exotics and white crystals. Black circles, which I don't even have black paint, so I'll have to do that. And some white exotics. Black circles again. White crystals, nothing too crazy. The shape is, honestly, it doesn't look too bad. It will have to be assembled into quarters because there's a pinned crystal right here. And some crystals on a quarter like that. Still not too hard to make, I think. So I'll see you in a little bit. I am back, and this has also reached level 39. I did that because I can get 400,000 research credits, which lets me buy more shape multiplier. Next one's only 450k. I'm not going to put this out of commission to stop eating my processing power. And what I should probably do now is increase this so that it's actually a full space built of the purple exotic output, because I will need them for these white and black exotics over here. The final shape needs these black exotics and white ones. Some more white ones. Looks like we need a full white exotic and only half a black one. If we take a look at these trade stations, the white one takes red, blue, and green half exotics, and the black one takes cyan, magenta, and yellow half exotics. I'm actually going to do a lot more number crunching because I'm going to need it. Okay, so since I only need a half a black exotic, I only need 4 of these. This is outputting half a space belt, which I can cut in half in the bow tie shape I need. So I'll need 1 notch, 2 notch of these yellow half exotics. Or, well, rather, all of the exotics. I'm making a full space belt of these yellow exotics, but this only takes 1 notch, and it outputs 2 notches, 1 here, 1 here. Each of these takes half a notch, so I need 4 of them, and, well, that's everything. Just 1 cutting platform. Let me grab my cyan one. Now for magenta, since I didn't make a lot of these, I hope I still have enough. I'm outputting 2 notches of this. Say I do have enough since I just have to cut this in half. And that will feed all the black trade stations. Alright, I'm now getting the black exotics, and if I ran the numbers wrong, then I'm gonna cry. Another important thing is the white exotics. I need a full space belt of output for these white exotics because I have 2 bow ties here. That is a full exotic. I'm gonna need 8 of these trade stations. The trade stations are 1-to-1, so I can, like, do this. I forgot again. This outputs a full exotic, they take half. You know, I'm gonna move this over because it is in the way of everything. So let's just use the red trade station. This outputs half a notch. This takes half a notch, but it's a half exotic. In order to saturate a cutting platform, I need 2 trade stations. This will handle 4 trade stations, 4 white trade stations. And of course, I need another one for the other 4 down here. If I get green trade stations now, for the green trade stations, I will... Why is that there? This one goes here. This one goes here. These ones will go here. Finally, blue. Once again, grab a cutter. That goes there, here, here, and here. These go all the way over again. Now that I take my shape maker for the trade stations, and this takes 1 notch, this takes 1 notch, I can do this. That's a perfect ratio. Stack them a few more times. Now I need 1, 2, 3 notches of squares and 1, 2, 3 notches of stars. Stars go there. Grab squares, plug them in there. First I'll need red paint for these stations. Okay, blue goes on top. Green goes in the middle. Alright, I split those stars 3 ways. I have to do the same with these squares. There. And in theory I'll get white exotics. Indeed I am. All of this math is making my brain hurt, and this is not even manufacture mode. Alright, now that I have all the exotics, I can probably start working on the actual shape now. Let me first split these into halves. Here's a black exotic bow tie. Crystallizer, need some lights. By the way, I promise I'll build for expandability in manufacture mode. Just not now. Okay, white in there. And there you go. Again, this will work eventually. Now for the next prerequisite, I'm noticing we need black circles, and I do not have black paint, so let me go make some. The recipe for black paint is rather simple, but counterintuitive. You know, should I get another train line for black paint? I think I should. You know, yeah, I've got the improper amount of white mixes over here, so I'm gonna turn it into actual right ratios. Blue plugged in, green plugged in, and red plugged in. Well, that started going through 30,000 in one delivery. What the hell? Anyway, here's a crap ton of white, and I'm gonna do something strange with it. I'm gonna grab a set of mixers and put them somewhere, like here. I'm gonna put white in there, and white in there, to make black. By the way, this is 15 notches, so I can probably run a lot more. You know what, I will. 5, 10, 15. That's probably enough, honestly. Ignore the fact that I built way too many mixers by accident, but this is enough, kind of. Now, I can't think of a universe where I'll need this much black paint, but at least I have it. Unfortunately, there isn't a black train, so I guess I'll just send it on a white train, because it's close enough. Alright, here I have white and red train lines, all feeding black paint. And I have to send this on a train, probably this one. Unfortunately, there's already a red and green train on it, so... Wait, how about blue and cyan? This is the white train line, so I'm gonna siphon blue and cyan, I think it was. Blue, cyan. And these will go into the black train shape unloader thing. Just gonna put it right here, I think. Alright, that's a bit too close to the magenta, who cares? I guess I can do that one, it doesn't really matter. I'll just start this one because it needs more shapes. I need a bow tie of white exotics and a bow tie of black circles. What I'm noticing is I need the same shape twice. This is black bow tie circles, white exotic bow tie, and that's the same shape right here. I have an idea. I'm gonna bring circles all the way over here. Wait a second, I just built a pipe and I brought circles all the way over? How did I not notice? Thank you, prediction, for confusing me like that. I appreciate it. Okay, that's a space belt though. Here are black circles. The reason I got a full black circle was so I can send it over here, I think. And if I send my white exotics over here, if I grab my shape swapper that I've been using, black circles into there, white exotics into the other one. Where's the prediction? Well, in any case, this blueprint trashes half the shapes which I don't want, so I'm gonna replace it with my trade station shape maker. Don't need the paint. Okay, surely this one has a prediction. It does not. Thanks, game. Oh, that's why. It's because these died. I don't know how. Because I broke the star. Nice. Figured out the problem. Okay, yeah. Well, either way, this space belt can go for this milestone, and this space belt can go into this milestone. If I move those and place a stacker, that is correct. That will get sent out, and I can get another train right here to unload from right here. Blue train. I realize the train colors don't even matter because they're gonna jump into the vortex anyway. I'm now getting one space belt of both of those. But the next prerequisite here, I need to separate the black circles so I can crystallize them. I also need a mold shape. I was wondering why this hadn't started going in. It's because I've got a train stop again. I bet it'll be done in one delivery. Yep. Now instead of using a bow tie maker, I'm going to get my cutting platform. You see, here are the black circles and the white exotics have been separated. Now here I'll use a bow tie maker. And then I have to get some molding shapes, so give me a second. Oh, by the way, that's done. So up here I can get my cutters to make full space belt of this, bow ties, 2 space belts, stack them, and stack this on top of the black circles. Right, and then I can get a crystallizer from right there. I do love siphoning stuff from the most convenient line. Right, there's the black circles with the crystal on it. And here's how I reassemble it back into place. And this should all work. So let me copy this. Here's the blueprint, and then copy this a few more times. And then I believe I just have to send this and stack it on top. Not quite. That's the wrong shape. I'm gonna need these that I forgot about. Turn them into bow ties again. And then I stack these on top. Nice. So that will work eventually. And let's take a closer look at the final milestone. Once again, we're assembling it to quarters. Alright, so the bottom right quarter, I need a white crystal, drop a quarter black circle and a quarter white exotic on it. Then I can pin push it. Here's the top right quarter. This one's also pretty easy. Can get a black quarter circle, pin push it, drop it on top of the white exotic and the black exotic, crystallize it, and then that'll get that. Matter of fact, the bottom left quarter is the exact same, so I could do some shenanigans. Oh, and also the top left is the same as the bottom right, so I could probably save a lot of resources if I do it smart. And it's done. Alright, during that time I was taking a look at the final milestone, and I think I've got a pretty good idea of how I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna do the bottom right and the top left quarter first. I need a black circle and a white exotic bow tie. Luckily that's right here more or less. I'm gonna separate them and then stack them. Plug in white exotics. And there's that. And then if I send this into a bow tie maker. Yes. Now I do need to pin push it so I can crystallize it. However, in order to do that, I'll need another layer of mold, which I do not have. There's the 3-layer tall mold. So I'll have to pin push these. I have to drop the mold onto it first. No, not quite. Okay, there. Now I can crystallize it. Now, unfortunately, I think I deleted that blueprint that cuts out the mold shapes. I guess I have to make it again. Okay, blueprint has been reconstructed. Then I have to pin push it. And then I actually have to split them in half because in order to assemble the final shape of the quarters, I can't have them in a bow tie like this. It's fine though. Here's the bottom right. Here's the top left. Black exotic, white exotic, crystal, black circle, crystal. I'm gonna need a lot more molding shapes. 1 space belt, 2 space belt, 3 space belt, 4 space belt, 5 space belt. Need a lot of stackers. Also, I should not have built right over that, but too late for that now. There's a 5-layer tall mold. Now, since I was not intelligent, I built this right above prime building space. It's fine though, I have to first split apart those exotics and the circles again. I'm gonna send the circles out. Bow tie maker. Dagger. Black exotic below the white exotic. I need these circles to turn into bow ties. Let me grab a bow tie maker. Now I can grab my stackers. These go below. These go on top. Oh, before I do that, I need to pin push these circles. Pin pushers over there. There we go. Yep. Then I have to drop the molding shapes on top of this. To get this. Once I crystallize with white, those 4 empty spaces will get filled in. Luckily, the white is right over here. Let's see, surely. There we go. Trashed out the mold. And here are the 4 quarters. Top left, bottom right, bottom... What? Okay, that's more like it. Bottom left, top right, top left. Bottom left will go right there. I need the bottom right, I guess. Very nice. There goes the top half. Right half, left half. In theory, this is the last row of swappers. Yes, it is. There's the shape. 1.5 million honestly won't take nearly as long as the milestone 8 will, because I have 7x shape multiplier now. Hopefully it's max efficiency. I also didn't really check. Speed up time a little bit and then check back on it. Oh, first shipment went in, 30,000. I really do need to make my builds more space efficient. Let's check on the efficiency. It's close enough to max. Probably just needs more time to even out. It's almost done. One more shipment should do it. And there we go. Expert operator. At this point, you probably know more about shape operations than most of the engineering team. That's just not true at all. Now we have to work with these new exotic shapes, the Y ones. I don't really know what else to call them. I'm just gonna keep calling them exotics. But anyway, once again, always gonna leave this running for however long I feel like it. By the way, I just wanted to bring your attention to this operator shape right here. Rook. It says Rook. So with that, I think I can end the episode here. A little bit of a shorter episode, I think, but we got a decent amount of progress. Did 3 milestones, this one, this one, this one. Learned how to use trade stations, kind of incorrectly. I'm not very good at math. In the next episode, I do want to do some of the more complicated crystal tasks, like that one, maybe this one, that one, this one. I just want to do all the tasks that give me achievements from Steam. So look forward to that next episode, and then after that, we'll probably do the final shape and then be done with Insane Scenario. So I'll see you in the next episode when I do a lot of crystal attacks. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do everything. Thanks for watching.